Hi, my name is Ruan van der Westhuizen and I'm from Vans Autosound. I bought my first car, and then the first thing you normally do is you want to put a sound system in your car. And then I started by doing my own fitments, and then I went to a sound of in Pietermaritzburg, and then that just blew my mind because the things that Ux was doing just inspired me to do more. The first big build was also a Beetle, and that was quite something. Rockford Fosgate actually approached us to be a dealer, and obviously we jumped on it, and it was just a big success from there. Brett actually contacted me to build this Beetle that he was quite attached to, and it was quite difficult doing it because you want to give it your best, and hopefully he's going to approve it. I loved all the ideas. We always bounced off ideas and see what's going to work and what's not going to work, and I think it came out very good.
Oh my goodness. This is the day. The day's come. Oh my God. Wow. I got goosebumps, dude. Like proper. This is just, let me pinch myself. Is this real? This has been a dream for the last, I think what, 40 years. 40 years, since I was 20, no, let's be accurate, 37 years to be precise. I'm Brett Farquharson, the very proud owner of this beautiful red Beetle sitting behind me. I'm the owner of Rockford Fosgate, Southern Africa. And as you probably, if you watched the first series, we distribute Rockford Fosgate and have done for the last 30 years. The story is a lot of history. This vehicle's a lot of history. It started out in 1981. It was my first car I ever owned and bought. And it cost me 250 Rand. It was rolled when I bought it. And I couldn't afford to pay the guy off, so I paid him over a few months, 25 Rand a week. And this was my pride and joy. I mean, this was my means of transport. As back in the day, everyone had to go to army, and my dream was to get this vehicle to become what I ultimately, would like it to be. And as the years went on, all you kept thinking about as a young kid is, your car, your ride. And of course, as typically as things happen, you meet the woman of your dreams, and things get distracted. You get married, and kids come along, and then business gets in the way. So I've wanted for the last 40 years to make this into reality. And it had been through many colors and variations and designs, and it stood at many workshops for years and years and years with just empty promises. And I knew I'd never have the time to do it. As much as I would, I would possibly be able to take the project on, but I would have had to let a lot of other things slip by. Beetles are they have their own personality. I mean, you can go and buy yourself any new vehicle, but Beetles have, I think, a connection with a lot of people. I think back from the 80s, it probably was a lot of people's first cars. And I don't know who actually still owns their first car. I mean, that has not just a replica or a similar one, but the actual first car. This car, I've been paying the license for the last 40 years. I feared that if I didn't, maybe it would become so modified and so creative that they wouldn't allow it to drive. So I've made sure that this car will always be licensed and driven. And I'd like to see it being driven and enjoy it for many, many years. Even my kids think this car's a myth. They've heard about it. They've seen small pictures. They don't believe that it exists. In fact, friends of mine gave up, saying you'll never, ever get this Beetle back on the road. The inspiration came from this vehicle that I'd seen, And I knew that at some point I'd have to have that, whoever did this car, you know, we'd find some paths crossing. So this morning, when the day had arrived, and this has been something that's been in the process for many, many years, and the car has been off the road for 37 years. The vehicle had gone through many phases, and what does that work out to be? I don't know the years, but a lot of time. And eventually I found this dealer of ours who's so inspirational, and that is the guy who built the original Beetle that I'd seen out in Middelburg. The company name is Vans Auto Sound, and they don't just do sound. They basically can create these beautiful things, from the bodywork to the styling to the whole concept. And he was the only person that I knew would basically pull this off. A gentleman who doesn't speak and say a lot, he speaks with what he does. And this vehicle, I think, speaks for the world. It says, I can't express any more words. Yeah, just driving here today was like, you know, thinking to myself that this is now a reality. It's actually gonna happen. It's finished. And that journey was kind of like 37 years in 1 hour, you know, that it's taken for this to happen. And all I can say is I thank everyone that was involved in making my dreams come true. And I'm gonna just, make sure that it gets looked after and enjoyed. And basically the world's gonna know that this vehicle was built here in the middle of the most insignificant little town, Middelburg. It's not Johannesburg or New York City or Los Angeles or Salt Lake City, where some of the world famous car builds. Built in Middelburg in South Africa. And here it is, and it's insane. The detail is just mind-blowing.